Hi, welcome to another edition of Daily Dave. How are you doing? This past week, pretty much nothing happened. It took about twice as long to do this week's cooking video, mostly because Kiwi has finally figured out how to jump up onto our kitchen counters. Beefy, though, is still struggling. This week, Brittany was going to actually do the cooking segment. However, her cooking unfortunately has well, you judge. Big shout out this week to all the people that are doing things.
And help the people, the thing that happened to.
But in all seriousness, I know a few Daily Dave subscribers and fans are working on the front. But in all seriousness, I know that a few Daily Dave subscribers and fans are working in grocery stores, in restaurants, as Uber drivers, and as nurses and doctors. And I just want to say thank you so much for all the work that you're doing. Let's get to the Daily Dave.
This is Daily Dave superfan RC's dog Moshi. He's a tramp and he'll do absolutely anything for a belly rub. His Royal Highness in this photo is stretched out on RC's bed. Obviously COVID-19 is, quote, stressing him out just a little bit. Today we're going to be making a roast pork tenderloin. First, we're going to start by chopping up some onions. Next, we're going to peel some carrots. You'll notice that my carrots are a different color than what you're used to seeing. That's because my grocery store didn't have any orange colored carrots left. Next, you're gonna place the carrots at the bottom of a shallow pan that can go in the oven. I use a braising pan. The reason that we're putting these carrots at the bottom is to create the equivalent of a rack, so that when we put our meat on top of it, the air can circulate beneath it. Next, I add in some chopped garlic. Next, we're going to put the pork tenderloin on top of the carrots. Again, the reason that we're doing this is to make sure that the air can circulate beneath the meat to make sure that it cooks through fully. After this, I add in a little bit of spice. The spice mixture that I pick is called Barberian. It includes a bit of celery salt, which actually adds to the earthy flavor of the dish, which is what I'm looking for. You may not have that, regular salt is fine too. Next, we're going to add in some fresh ground pepper. I then add in some vegetable oil to make sure that we get a little bit of crust on top of the meat. As well, we want to make sure that the fat layer stays on top to make sure that the pork is extra juicy. Finally, add the lid on and put the oven at 220 degrees and put it in. About an hour and a half into cooking, open the oven and pour some of the juices on top of the roast. Once it's done, take the roast out and put it aside. Next, we'll be reducing the juices. You can see that the onions are playing a big role in thickening up the sauce. I wanted our sauce to be a little bit more sweet though, so I added in 2 chopped Mcintosh apples. This is going to provide a really excellent flavor that complements the pork. You'll notice that my sauce is a bit thicker than what yours might look like. I added in about a teaspoon of flour into some cold water to thicken up the sauce. Once your sauce reduces down and the flavor from the apples is starting to seep into the sauce, you'll know that this is the case because it'll taste a little bit more sweet. Slice up the pork and add it back into the dish. Finally, it's time for plating, and there you have it. A fantastic roast pork that you can make at home for under $10. Have you ever wondered where all the fruit that you eat comes from? Check out this video to learn more. Queen Victoria had 9 children in the span of 17 years. Check out this video to learn more about all of her daughters that ended up becoming some of the most powerful women in Europe. Finally, this is our hit or miss video of the day. This guy has designed his own flying contraption and decides to go to the McDonald's drive-thru with it. Are you interested in learning more? Check it out now. Considered by some to be the greatest film of all time, Citizen Kane is available now on Netflix. I know that a lot of grocery stores are out of pasta, but this guy's at least putting noodles to good use. Always remember to be nice to your partner, especially during quarantine. Speaking of being nice to your partner,
Thanks for tuning in. If you wanted to see more details about the recipe that I cooked today, check out the description below. If you really like us, hit the like button and subscribe to us. Otherwise, see you next week.